Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and thank you for joining us on this Toastmasters meeting. I would like all the role bearers to please come forward and explain their roles. Today, the Toastmaster of the day is TM Asghar. TM Asghar, please explain your role.
Thank you very much. Today I'm the I'm the Toastmaster of the day, and I will be with you after every regular interval. And I may be disconnected for a few seconds, so pretend as if you have heard me. Today we have a few roles. I think I have the grammarian. Today I'm the grammarian. In grammarian, I'll try to see whether the phrases and the words are being used grammatically. And difficult for me to check the grammar to be a grammarian, but I'll try, and I'll try to copy some useful words of the day who said them. I have a mastery over this, the second part of the grammarian role. The word master today is TM Asma. TM Asma, tell us the words for
Yeah,
today.
the word of the day is frivolous, which means excuse me, sorry. Frivolous, which means not useful, something not useful. Let me share the screen with you. Not something that does not have a serious purpose or a value. For instance, the person is living a frivolous life. The person is frivolous of his profession. So this is the word of the day. Let me share it with you over WhatsApp. The other role.
I think Toastmasters, you can just post it in the chat box for Zoom.
Okay, right.
That will be easy.
Is it my turn again? Hello?
Yes, I will also be, today I'll also be the general evaluator and the evaluator for table topics. I would like to now call Ms. TM Imran Rana. He will be the table topic master of the day.
Are we going with a table topic first? Why not we go with prepared speeches? Just a suggestion.
TM Imran, we will have the prepared speeches first, and then we'll be going for the table topic.
But you just,
so you just have to explain your role.
Explain the role.
So you have to just explain your role. Yeah, please.
Could you please come again? Which role are you asking me?
Table topic master. Table topic master.
Okay. Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good afternoon. Yes, afternoon. So, as table topic master, I will give random topics to anyone, and the speaker has to speak for about 1 minute to 2 minutes and 30 seconds. It goes like at 1 minute. If there is a timer, he will show the green signals, and this means that the speaker will qualify for voting. At 1 minute and 30 seconds, at 2 minutes, now the speaker has to wrap up his speech, because after 30 seconds he will be disqualified. So the speaker has to speak on the topic for about 2 minutes. Over to you.
TM Asghar, over to as the Toastmaster of the day, please take over the charge.
Okay, who will be our listener today? Do we have a listener? I mean, Asma, can you be a listener?
Yes,
although
yes,
you have a
yes. Thank you for calling me. As a listener, I'll be noting some phrases, and at the end of the meeting, I'll be asking you as to who said those phrases. Over to you, team of the day.
Thank you. And I think as DTM Tala mentioned that we don't need vote counter today, isn't it, Tala?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't think we
Can,
need. Yeah.
okay, so can we move towards the prepared speeches?
Yes.
Okay. In the prepared speeches today, we have two speaker. Okay, so first one is me, and the second one is DTM Talab and Ahmed. So,
Yeah.
okay, can I go with my speech then?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
now I would like to call. Now I would like to call TM Asgar for the speech, and the topic of today's speech is introduction to mentoring in Toastmasters, and the evaluator of Asgar's speech is DTM Tala. DTM Tala, can you describe the objective of the speech so that I can invite him for his speech?
Sure. Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar will be attempting this. I believe it's the first project, or maybe second or third, of level 2 of presentation mastery. The project is titled Introduction to Toastmaster Mentor. The purpose of this project is for the member to clearly define how Toastmaster envisions mentoring. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspects of a previous experience as a protege. So, in short, the speaker is expected to shed light on some aspect of Toastmasters mentoring and also describe their personal experience as a protege to a mentor. Toastmaster Asghar, have you given a title to this speech? Because you always come up with very interesting titles.
No, yeah, it's my mentor.
My mentor. Okay, a little bit of an anticlimax, but okay, we will go by that. And so, Toastmaster Mohammad Asghar, my mentor, Toastmaster Asghar. The time of the project is 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll be showing it via this window. I hope Toastmaster Asghar, you can see it.
Yes, I can see it, provided that I will not be disconnected.
It
Okay.
should. We'll give you due allowance for that. Don't worry.
Thank you. So please, Mr. Asghar, come over here for your speech. Okay, thank you. Um, Caretaker President and both Toastmasters. Who is mentor? It was the first question I asked myself as soon as I confronted with the project. I was confused.
Mazhar, we lost you.
Let's.
I was.
Yeah. Let's.
I know. When I do so, I know because you become static. So I stop myself. Right.
It's okay.
Okay.
He want this would happen. Sorry, Toastmasters. I think if you can restart, it would be good. So Toastmasters warned that this would happen, but he will come back within a second or two. So that's how it should proceed. So Toastmasters, can you please start again?
Okay. Who is mentor? It was the first question I asked myself after confronting with this project. I was confused. I did what most of the time I do when I'm confused. I Googled it. And Google turned out more than 5 meanings. It says mentor is a teacher, boss, friend, leader, colleague, and whatnot. Dear Toastmaster, it only added more confusion in an already confused mind. After going the detail of the project in the pathway, I came to know about the real meaning of mentor. And I came to know that thou, the mentor, has something to do with the all words mentioned by Google, yet it is distinct from all these meanings. In the Toastmaster context, ideally a mentor is a Toastmaster who had joined this club before you joined it. In a way that he or she treaded the path and done the work done, regardless how radically the meaning of Toastmaster change. Mentoring is a huge impact. Mentee benefits from the lessons that it learns from its Toastmasters. Now, not all Toastmasters can be effective or successful mentee. Being a mentor, one need to show patience and kindness. In my Toastmaster days, my mentor was DTM Samir. DTM Samir, I was really amazed by his kindness and his patience. For example, once I called him sir, he politely corrected me not to call your mentor as sir. And I have never repeated this bossy words since then because I knew he would hate to hear it. So it was a warning for all four of us. Never call your mentor as a sir of Toastmasters. And it is something to do with the central principle of Toastmasters that we always learn from each other, regardless of our age and experience, rather than to teach someone. But how actually we benefit from the experience of a Toastmasters? We found, for example, a magic with someone like DTM Tala's words when he speaks, and we want to transfer that magic inside us. But how to do it? We can do it by asking him for assistance. And we can do it asking for assistance and guidance. Now, interestingly, contrary to the popular convention, we think that it is the only mentee who can get benefit from its mentor. Sometimes it's quite otherwise. It also enrich the the whole mentoringship revolve around the mentee and the protégé, but the protégé has to be prepared to learn and show patience, and he must know the red line between him or his mentor or Toastmaster. For example, someone told me that his mentee sent him 4 famous quotation and advise his mentor to place them in his draft speech. Now, this is something we call spoon feeding, but not mentoring. I think, but we must not forget the other extreme. There are some mentee like me who thinks that they are perfect. They don't need advice from someone to correct himself or herself. Now, this is another extreme which we also avoided. Now, mentoring is far different from the coaching. It has a similar meaning in very areas. For a successful mentee, we need to differentiate these differences in order to place ourselves in a right column. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Asghar, for your speech. Now we are moving our second prepared speech. The second prepared speech will be delivered by DTM Talab and Ahmed, and the speech will be evaluated by TM Asma. TM Asma, can you describe the objective of the speech?
Hello, everyone. DTM Talab bin Hamid will be presenting a speech. His pathway is presentation mastery 2. Motivation strategy. Sorry. Apologies. My apologies. His pathway is motivational strategies 5. The title of the project is Fireflies, and the purpose is the time is 18 to 22 minutes. And the purpose of this project is for the member to practice developing and presenting a longer speech. Over to you, DTM Tala. I'll be your timer for this speech.
Toastmaster Asma, I think I can time myself. I'll just use this application. So I believe,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And secondly, before I start, a slight background to this speech. Actually, this is intended to be a keynote, and of course, this is part of level 5. This is the keynote that I will develop. I will deliver at an American club on Monday night. because I'm their member as well, and I've been asked to deliver a keynote there. So I would love all of you's feedback on this speech, in that, especially in that perspective, in the perspective of an international audience. And secondly, this is obviously a keynote, and a keynote has a lot of material from various sources. So it is certainly not original. It consists of historical events. So it will fail the originality test. But I believe that you should also look out for whether the events and the sequence that I'm mentioning is leading up well to the point that I'm making in the end. So this is my request to all of you. So, okay. So here I start. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, if I give you fire, what would you do with it? Will you illuminate the world, or will you set it on fire? Let me take you to thousands of years back. Scorching heat of the desert. The mother, left alone by her husband, is cradling an infant in her arms. There is nothing and no one around, and she is wondering what to do, listening for sounds and slithers of venomous desert creatures. But there is something even more scary that is about to strike her: thirst and hunger. Her infant son is thirsty, and he is bawling his lungs out. The woman gently lays the baby down and looks around. She sees that she is standing between two hills. She runs up to the first, stands on top, and surveys the land for any signs of water. Finding none, she descends, and then she runs up to the other hill and does the same. She does this 7 times, but she cannot see any water. Still, the water comes. The ground beneath the feet of the baby cracks open, and there's a gush of water emerging from that space. The mother runs towards her son, lifts him up, and sees the water, which is gushing forth with increasing speed, and tells it to stop. Zom, zom, which is perhaps the Aramaic expression for stop, stop. And to this day, that well is known for these 2 words, the Zamzam well. The mother is, of course, Bibi Hajra, wife of Abraham, the prophet. The baby is Ismail. The spring of water is still going till today. And according to the belief of the Muslims, God liked her 7 times pursuit of water so much that millions of Muslims today emulate Hajra by performing a ritual in Hajj and Umrah. Fast forward a few centuries. There is a business lady in Arab. She inherits her father's business, and she is running it so well that the size of her business and her trade caravans dwarfs the size of all other trade caravans in her tribe and in the country. She employs one 25-year-old young man, and she sends him onto a trade caravan. The young man returns back with huge profits. She likes his honesty so much that she proposes to him for his hand in marriage. The young man is 15 years her younger, and it is her 3rd marriage. And she, being a woman, is proposing to a man. Can you imagine that happening today in our society? Even if that happens, the woman will be all but stoned to death, if not physically, but verbally. The woman is none other than Bibi Khadija, and her husband Holy Prophet Muhammad, the Prophet for Muslims. Still fast forward a few centuries. A Polish-French woman moves to Paris in late 19th century. She starts studying physics, chemistry, and maths at the University of Paris, traditionally the domain of men. During her research, she and another scientist fall for each other and ultimately marry. She decides to take on the mysterious rays emitted from a newly discovered metal as her research project, employing various techniques. The rays turn out to be a previously unknown phenomenon called radiation. She also discovers two new elements in the process. She publishes 32 research papers and is awarded a Nobel Prize, the first ever to a female in 1903. But she does not stop there because she's awarded another Nobel Prize in 1911, and she becomes the first person ever to be awarded two Nobel Prizes. She is none other than Madame Curie, who revolutionized science along with her husband. She died in 1934 tragically, having been a victim to radiation due to her research. In exchange for her life, though, she changed and continues to change millions of lives today. She continues to save millions of humans, children. She continues to be the leading cause of treatment and research, not only in the field of medicine, but in the field of physics, in the field of space research, in the field of astronomy, you name it. Fast forward again 2 decades. A black woman in early 50s decides to take on a career as a mathematician. Imagine that. Black woman mathematician. This is an age where being a woman and a black and daring to take a field traditionally thought to be the domain of superior intellect of men were unheard of. She applied for a post in Guidance and Navigation Department at National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which is the precursor to NASA. Uh, the agency was that in those days locked in a heated battle with the Soviet Union, and it was an era called the space race because Soviet Union had put their first satellite into space. They had put the first animal into space, and they were well on their way of putting the first human into space. And America just stood by the sidelines, and they were shocked because, in the golden words of director of NACA at that point in time, how are we second place in a two-man race? The lady started to work as a computer. Yes, computer. Computer in those early days did not denote machines, they denoted humans. And there were scores and legions of computers, females, who used to calculate and do the work of computers in those days. Why females? Why not men? Because females have the single-mindedness and the concentration and the meticulousness to get through scores of calculations every day and then do them again and again and again with minor variations. And that is why females the world over are preferred for intricate tasks. You name it: embroidery, quality control, or in this case, computing in those days. She was reassigned due to her brilliant work 5 years later to Flight Research Division, and this was the division directly responsible for administering NASA's various efforts towards putting humans and machines into space. All the while, she was subjected to racial and gender discrimination because she was in a department full of white males who spared no effort in ridiculing her for being black, for being woman, and for daring to match their discipline. What's more, she outshone all those engineers. She faced segregation of the worst kind. She could not drink water. She could not have coffee from the same utensils that her white colleagues could. She could not go to the same restroom that the white ladies could go to. There were separate restrooms for blacks, and those restrooms were several blocks away. So, what was the result? This brave lady had to go to the restroom, had to run to the restroom when she felt like it, and it took her half an hour to get there. And even while in the restroom, she continued to work on her assignments. Her fellow engineers, all white males, subjected her to constant ridicule. But in the end, she ended up calculating the orbit for Ellen Shepard, the first American in its space. And John Glenn, the first astronaut to actually orbit the Earth, he refused to lift off in his rocket until his calculations were checked by this very woman. She had earned such a name for herself, and even the director of NASA had to relent. She rechecked the orbital calculations, and only when she gave her go ahead, above and beyond all her white male colleagues, only then the space mission was launched. This woman is Katherine Johnson, the cornerstone of America's response in the space race. Fast forward a few years. In 1947, the Indian subcontinent was divided into two countries, India and Pakistan. The man who led the effort to convert Muslim majority areas in Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, was, of course, not alone in his struggle. He had he was lucky to have a galaxy of amazing companions, and above all of them was his own sister, a dentist by profession, who dedicated her life not to her profession, not to family, but to her brother's cause. After his passing away in 1948, she took on his mantle and continued her political career in a strictly patriarchal and militaristic society. She challenged a military-backed candidate in presidential elections and lost due to a myriad of reasons, but a lack of popularity was not one of them. Battling sickness and weakness, he passed away a short while later, but forever laid the foundation of participation of females in Asian politics. She is, of course, Fatma Jinnah. Let's have another look at the females that we have mentioned. Hajar, she was left alone in the desert by her husband. Did she complain? No. She got on with business. Khadija, a strong-headed tradeswoman, did she feel reluctant in proposing to a man 15 years her younger? Absolutely not. Because she knew what was good for her, and she knew how to get it, and she did not care about societal stereotypes. Katherine Johnson, can you imagine how many other talented women would have given up in this environment? And I'm certain there would be dozens who would have just run away and started families and became traditional housewives, because that's what women were expected to do at that point in time, even white women. But did she do that? No, she fought back. And thanks to her, a lot of racial discrimination and segregation was removed from NASA. She died in 2020 at the age of 98, and today She is recognized as one of the cornerstones of America's space efforts. Marie Curie, all the while she was battling a patriarchal society, she was battling the illness caused by radiation. She was battling her fellow scientists and agencies, and even the agency awarding the Nobel Prize, who discriminated against her for being a woman. Initially, they had skipped her name from the Nobel Prize list. But ultimately, she kept fighting and came out on top. Fatma Jinnah, wouldn't it be easy for her to just lead a quiet, peaceful life after the passing away of her brother? But she chose not to do that. She knew she was needed at that point in time, and she knew what she had to do, and she did not care about the costs. In fact, her brother had paid the ultimate price, and she was willing to do that. Now, let me ask you one question. How many people were killed by this women? Any answers? Exactly. Exactly. They had passion. They had fire in their bellies. They were strong headed, or as we like to call them, bossy. They were determined to get what they want. Yet, they did not kill a single human being. They did not set cities on fire. They did not start wars. They did not drop atomic bombs on cities. They did not go out on shooting sprees. They did not take revenge from those who offended them by hurting them. There have been millions of individuals with fire in their bellies. Some of them started wars and killed millions of human beings. Some of them enacted political, spiritual, racial divides that live to this day. Some of them planted seeds of hatred against certain communities that survive to this day. Some of them made such inventions that today the whole humanity is threatened because of them. Can anyone tell me what's the common thread between all these individuals? Anyone?
Men,
Sorry?
men,
Yes. They have all been males.
Get determination to do something.
Yes, of course, Toastmaster Asghar.
Sacrifice without any sacrifice without expecting any reward.
Exactly, exactly. But the people who started wars, the people who invented weapons, the people who planted seeds of hatred and racial divide and pride and prejudice, all of them have been men. From ancient history, from the time of Cain and Abel to even today. Look at business owners today. Look at CEOs. Some of them have been visionaries, and some of them have been jerks. But today, so many organizations are led by females. And those corporations are not only doing well, but they are trying to correct the wrongs of the past. And that is why, fellow Toastmasters and guests, humanity should be eternally grateful for women's contribution. According to our belief, the first man was Adam. And then a woman came for his companionship and to complete humanity with him. Right from that time, women have been uniformly peaceful and uplifting. When a woman has a fire in her belly, she doesn't ignite the world. She becomes a firefly and a source of light and darkness for humanity. She challenges but does not attack. She resists but does not destroy. She asks questions but does not misbehave. Today, we live in a world which is illuminated by the fireflies in our lives across space and time. Our world, our universe is not complete without women. They have made the world a better place, often at great personal sacrifice. But the difference has been that they have never taken revenge from anyone. Women of the world, we salute you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, DTM Tala, for this thought-provoking speech. Thank you. And this is the end of the prepared speech session. Now we move on towards the table topic session. And today our table topic master TM Imran Rana. TM Imran Rana, the podium is yours now.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. It's time to hone your impromptu skills. So in that session, I'll give you any topic and you have to speak for about 1 to 2 minutes. And I suggest you try to speak about the topic. If you are unable to do so, then you can speak on anything. And also try to use word of the day that is frivolous. So let's begin our table topic session. And our first speaker is, okay, about the topics, I've collected some good proverbs. So you have to speak about the proverbs or you can explain the proverbs in any manner. So our first table topic speaker is Toastmaster Sabi. Toastmaster Sabi, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. So Toastmaster Sabi, good to have you. And your topic is?
Thank you.
And your topic is kind words will unlock an iron door. Kind words will unlock an iron door. Free Wallace is the word of the door, a word of the day. Over to you.
Um, this is my belief that kind words work on those situations which we thought that it's hard to achieve or we can't do it. um, I saw in my life that something which is I thought that not work in any condition, but due to some because of some wording or proper wording and proper conversation, I resolved those critical situations in my work life and in my personal life as well. Sometimes my family members or my co-worker work previous, but however I realized through someone else's stories, through someone else's stories, so they could easily understood that that is about you, not I. Sometimes I don't directly told them that that's about you, that's my strategy. Also people are intelligent enough to understand that she is talking about me, or she want to realize my mistake. So I thought that we can do many words. Uh, we can we can solve stressful situations. We can solve stressful situations uh, by intelligently using our behavior and intelligence. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Hida. Moving on to our next topic, and our next speaker is Toastmaster Asghar. Toastmaster Asghar, could we have you? Toastmaster Asghar, are you with us? Okay. Please unmute yourself.
Yes, as long as I'm moving, I'm with you. The moment I become static, I'm not with you.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Who is the timer? Toastmaster Dala, are you the timer, right? Okay. So, Toastmaster Asghar, your topic is learn to accept people who they are. Learn to accept people who they are. Frivolous is the word of the day. The stage is yours.
Okay, thank you, Toastmaster of the day. It is basically one of the basic philosophies of life, that we need to accept people what they are or how they are doing. It is actually one of the one of the major incentive to accommodate with the people. I usually see that the people are not compatible with each other, even for a frivolous reasons, and we need to get rid of all those reasons once we travel towards our discomfort zone and try to take the position from the other person or see the thing from the perspective of other positions. We will get rid of all these privileged ideas, all these privileged or pity mindedness, that how people behave, and we only can accommodate people, accommodate ourselves with the opposing ideas if we learn, if we accept that they are the other people, they have the other point of view, and we at best can create a meeting of mind somewhere in the middle and can be agreed on a minimum common agenda to move ahead, while uh, you know taking out all these previous um, point of contentions. Uh, this is in fact one of the philosophy of life, and the tragedy is, the more we try to accept this philosophy, the more we become away from it. I think one of the reason is the difference from our biases and our rational thinking. There is a gap between our rational thinking and our cognitive biases, not to treat people if they are different from our rational side tell us to accommodate the things who are coming from the opposite side. That is end. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asghar, for sharing your thoughts about the topic. Moving on to our next topic, our next speaker is Toastmaster Asma. Okay, and your topic is do not stand in a place of danger, trusting in miracles. Do not stand in a place of danger, trusting in miracles. Frivolous is the word of the day. The stage is yours.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. The topic is do not stand in place of danger, uh, trusting in miracles. Okay. Actually, there are certain times that, for instance, we know that if we go late at night, we will probably be marked. If we are, showing ourselves a very, um, we've, if we are showing off a lot of wealth, the people will definitely be tagging along with us. So there are a lot of things that we can avoid danger. For instance, dangers can be, if we specify, it can be to any harm to our reputation, any harm to our wealth, any bodily or injury. All these things are, part of the dangers. But sometimes, at times, we just uh, want to. We do not look into the facts of the situation. We just want to go ahead with it. What I would just say is that, being careful and being cautious is a much better approach, rather than just stepping into a situation where you know that that can be a dangerous situation. It can also be your health related issues. So it's always better to remain intact, remain careful, and just avoid dangers. Thank you. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Asma. For our next topic, we have TTM Talha. So, are you ready, Toastmaster Talha? Okay. So, who will going to time his speech? And your topic is: do not push the river; it will flow by itself. Do not push the river; it will flow by itself. Word of the day is frivolous. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Table Topics Master. Do not push the river, it will flow by itself. This is the first time I'm hearing this phrase, but it sounds to me quite funny because all our lives we spend thinking that we as humans are actually pushing the river. It is a very frivolous view of our own superiority that we tend to think that we can drive events, we can control events. In reality, events are happening to us and we are just dealing with them. And we have seen countless examples in our lives where some people are so obsessed with controlling each and every aspect of something that they just end up making themselves and all those around them miserable. And of course, at some point in time, I have been that person. Because if you are the VP education of a Toastmasters club, you know the feeling. So, but you know what? Control other people's thinking. We cannot control whether someone loves or hates us. We cannot control how our children will turn out. We cannot control whether our child does well in school or not. And when we try to control all these things, actually we're trying to push the river. Instead, we should focus more about dealing with the consequences of the events that come our way and creating something positive out of them rather than trying frivolously to control what cannot be controlled. Over to you, Table Topics Master.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Talha. So I'm sure everyone is qualified.
Yes, everyone is, but there's one speaker left, and that is you.
I'm also table
So,
topic master.
so what? So what? So, for your table topics, Toastmaster Imran, I'd like to. Do you have something in mind, Toastmaster Asgar or Toastmaster Asma, for assigning Toast? Okay, you have to go for a minute. So, Toastmaster Asgar, please feel free to assign a topic to Toastmaster Imran.
Yes. Yeah, I have a topic in my mind for Master Imran Rana. You know, prove that honesty is not a best quality. In
Come
truth,
Sorry,
on.
and truth, in 1.5 minutes, prove that honesty is not the best policy.
Honesty is the best policy. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very
Honesty
good
is
afternoon.
not the best policy.
Honesty is not the best policy. Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good afternoon. Toastmaster Asghar rightly said, honesty is not the best policy, and I totally agree with the statement. Because once when you being honest with your wife, for example, if you uh, for example, means if you told your wife that you were there and you were not there, and you were honestly told her everything, then what's her opinion, what's her reaction? Her reaction would be, why were you there, what were you doing there? So instead of being honest in that situation, let's not be honest, and let's let's not be an honest, so that you can have a very happy and healthy life. Over to you, Toastmaster Asghar.
Great, thank you. And I think this is the end of our table topic session. And thank you, Imran Rana, for being a table topic masters today. And thank you for coming up with some very good, instructive, and knowledgeable sentences, proverbs, what they were, and we really enjoyed it. The third session, we now move toward third session, but I can't see Asma, who is supposed to preside over the session. Asma is, vanished into thin air. I can't see Asma.
Actually, she put a message that she have to go for a minute, so I'm sure she'll be back in a bit.
Okay. So then should I take the responsibility of evaluator till her arrival?
Yes, I think you can start the session because yours is the first
Should I
evaluation.
take the responsibility?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think please take the. We will move towards the evaluation, and DTM Tala, can you present your evaluation till her arrival? Yes, and she is there.
Toastmaster Asma is here. She is back.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, TM Asma. Thank you to be here. We thought that you have just vanished into the thin air, and I thought this. I'm the only one who is facing this problem, but I'm not alone. Thanks God. Now it is your turn.
Actually,
Okay.
actually,
please
on my side, it was the change of the place. You know how it is. You're occupying a space,
Okay.
and the family needs that.
Okay, so now we are in our third session, which is journal evaluator, and today you are our
Tim, so just can you please clarify one thing, that do the general evaluator has to call the other evaluators as well? Okay, fine.
Yes.
Right. Good afternoon, everyone. As a general evaluator, I would say that there was only a very minimal attendance, but the time we started a bit late, around 12:15. 15 minutes late, but I think that was still very understandable. And the way everybody took the rules and carried on the meeting. I mean, I'm really, really grateful. I'm very thankful to each of the members. And I think that it always, what amazes me about Toastmasters is that, that there's a amazing kind of a teamwork, which always and the meeting is happens in such a nice manner. So this really amazes me. So let us keep this thing going on. I would now like to call TM DTM Tala for his evaluation of speech of TM Asghar.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Asma. And before I start the evaluation, I have to make one request to everyone. I hate it when people amend their term of address to DTM when addressing me. There's absolutely no need to do that. It is embarrassing, and what's more, it interrupts the flow. So absolutely no need to do that. You can call me TM or DTM or nothing at all. I won't mind. Let me show you. So
AM and PM also.
yeah, exactly. Anything. So with that, okay, let me time myself. TM, sorry, DTM Thala, please start the timing. Okay. Okay. So, Toastmaster Mohammed Asghar, if I'm correct, you must be doing this project for the second time, right? Or the third time? Yeah. And it is difficult. I know. Uh, it is a dilemma of pathways that you are expected to do a few projects all over again every time, as if you have not done them before. That's paradoxical to me, at least, and that smacks of something perhaps not created by humans, but uh, randomized through a computer. But anyhow, I'm being distracted here. So, Toastmaster Asghar, uh, today your delivery and flow were very assured. You seemed supremely confident, and I must say that your flow and even your grammar and word usage. Word usage, of course, has been a hallmark of your speeches, but you have had some grammatical issues in the past, but today they were all but absent. And why do I say that? Because I'm a personal witness towards your efforts to address that particular area, and I thoroughly admire your approach. You started with who's mentor, asking the audience, and then you added humor by mentioning Googling. Uh, and yes, you struck the nail on the head when you said that the answers Google gave added more confusion to an already confused mind. Because there's so many options, so many choices. You used, as always, some very good phrases. It is distinct from all these meanings. We found magic. You had a very good angle about benefit to mentor, and that is something that is not usually covered by such speeches, or even it's ignored. Many people take mentoring as just something of a control device over a new Toastmaster. But what we realize is that we realize learning even more sometimes than the mentee. So thank you for pointing that out. You had a very good angle about spoon feeding. That is a very fine line between spoon feeding and imposing yourself upon your mentee versus actually letting them be who they are and ensuring that they become the best version of themselves, which is the Toastmasters way after all. You had great confidence, your gestures were better than usual as well. And one aspect that was outstanding in today's speech was your eye contact with the audience and your sense of engagement with the audience. I could feel it. To my mind, at least, you have thoroughly conquered the divide between the in person and the virtual stage. Because I know I speak for everybody when I say that we felt that you were addressing us right standing before us. We did not feel that you were addressing us through a laptop, and that came from your eye contact and your very visible engagement. Just some improvement areas. Again, a few grammatical errors here and there, and maybe your laptop's angle could be improved. Other than that, you have covered the targets of the project very well and very creatively by rolling Toastmasters mentoring and your own mentoring into one. So congratulations on completing this project and congratulations on adding to our knowledge. Over to you, General Welder. You are on mute.
Thank you, DTM Tala. Now I would invite my own self to evaluate speech of DTM Tala bin Hamid. Um, DTM Tala, honestly, am I audible? Am I audible? Okay. Nitin Tara, honestly, I don't feel myself competent enough to actually evaluate your speech. I mean, the speech was really amazing. something when when I was just asked to evaluate an 18 to 22 minute speech at the at that time, I was just thinking that, oh God, now I have to sit before this computer for at least 18 to 22 minutes. That was the first thing that came to my mind. But actually, this speech was so well drafted, I would say, well organized, and I just could feel that there's this it was a very sincere kind of a speech. I felt that it was not a speech to us five. In fact, it was like somebody talking to a huge crowd. I could just only imagine you standing in front of some huge audience with all those shining lights. Maybe inshallah, let's hope that once someday you will be able to speak at that level as well. Overall, a very beautifully drafted, very highly motivating speech. And the way you actually explain took one female by after another and explaining their roles and all, that was really wonderful. It was amazing speech overall, very well drafted, and something that um, for for a female, it was really absorbing. It was really absorbing. I couldn't just wink an eye during your speech. So amazing speech overall. Um, Honestly, I don't have any suggestions for you. Okay. Honestly, I don't have any suggestions for you. I think it was a wonderful speech overall. So hats off to you. Okay, so the evaluation for speeches has already been done. So I will be moving on to the table topics evaluation. This is my first time that I'll be evaluating the table topics. So please bear with me. Um, okay, the first person, first of all, I would just like to thank TM Imran Rana for conducting a very beautiful table topic session in a very short span of time. Really, thank you, TM Imran Rana. The first speaker was TM Sabi. TM Sabi started. The topic was kind words will unlock iron doors. Kim Sabi, as we are seeing your speeches regularly, you seem to be, getting more confident. Your speeches are improving, and now you're also able to relate yourself well with the topic. So I would only say that just please keep on your regulars. You're one of the regular members as well. So please do keep on coming, and I think that you've really picked up very well. And so just stay. Uh, uh, Please do attend these meetings. I think that you'll be even much better speaker very soon. Uh, you already have some assigned mentors, so you can also speak to them on how you can improve, and you can be even better. The second topic was learn to accept people as to who they are, and this was TM Asgar. TM Asgar very beautifully took us to how we should actually look into the perspective of the other person. Very, his speech was very well drafted. Although this is impromptu speech, but still he gave a very nice point of view very nicely. Um, the third was my own self, so I'll just skip that. Lithium Tala, do not push the river, it will flow by itself. Lithium Tala very took it very nicely, and he actually pointed out the important fact that we cannot control many things, and I think that this was a very nice impromptu speech. That's all from my side. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Where is my evaluation?
I think I gave your evaluation in the first place, didn't I? Because I mean, you really, I would say that the overall table topics session was
as
very
a-
beautifully conducted.
No, but as a
As a-
table topic speaker.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything?
Oh wait,
Did I miss
I
this?
think you were gone while he spoke, weren't you? Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Okay. So that's. Sorry, TMA brother, you have to excuse me for that.
It's all right. It's all right. It's perfectly fine.
Okay, thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, thank you for this wonderful session. I mean, you are wearing more than one cap today, and you know, discharging your responsibility in every cap in a very nice manner. And now we have almost come to the end of our session, but um, before the end of the session, I would like our role holder to present their report in front of the house, and the first one will be the grammarian. Oh my God, you know, and I am the grammarian. There are, I just good sentences, just like a patriarchal society. I mean, suicidal stereotype, racial discrimination, cornerstone of American space morality. I think they're all from DTM Thala, if I'm not wrong. But above all, the fire in the belay. You know, the whole discussion revolve around this. And I have my own, you know, evaluation for you, but I'm going to text it to you later on. The political and racial devices determined yet do not, you know, killing the people. These are some very good usages that we have heard today. And this is the end from my side. And now I would like to request the listener of today's, do we have a listener today? Do we have a listener today?
Yes, yes, we do.
I am.
Yes.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Thank you, team Asghar. We cannot control whether our children will be successful or not.
Talha.
DTM Tala.
And they have the other point of view.
Asghar.
TM Asghar, yeah. Humanity should be grateful to women.
Talha. Next one is Asghar.
They did not start wars. Okay, she worked as a computer. TM Tala.
I think again TM Talha.
Yes. Okay. Okay. And being mentored, one has to show patience and kindness.
I wonder
You're
who could that
muted.
be. Yeah. I wonder who could that be. That seems so
Who
difficult.
could that be? Yeah.
It's me?
Being mentored? No, it's
No.
TM Asghar. TM Asghar.
It was
TM Asghar. You joined it a bit later, so that's all from the listener side.
okay.
Over to you, TM Asghar.
Okay. Thank you. And I think this is the end from my side. Now I would like to again invite you to finish this meeting with your final remarks as caretaker president of today's session. So this is the end from my side. Goodbye to all of you, and over to you again, Asma.
Thank you, TM Asghar. Thank you, everyone, for because of you, we were able to conduct this meeting today. I must say that my sincere thanks to all of you. There were certain reasons with all the other members, and apologies from their side that they could not attend. But overall, the meeting was really wonderful. It was a great teamwork. So applaud to all of us. Thank you so much. And that's all from my side. So have a good day. Have a good evening. Stay blessed. Thank you so much.
And
Sorry.
I have my last word. I have
Please,
my
yeah,
last
please,
word.
sure.
When
Okay.
I first met or saw Asma, Team Asma over here in this meeting in the first day, she refused to speak. And today she is acting as a caretaker president of our club and supervising the all sections and advising it what to do. So it's a great moment for me to comparing these moments. The first day you attended meeting, and I remembered very well, you refused to speak during the table topic session.
Yeah.
You said, I have
Yeah.
nothing to say.
TM Sabi, this is for you as well. So inshallah,
Over
we
to
will
you.
see many speeches from your side, and we'll also see you grow, inshallah ta'ala. In fact, I'm also learning, still in the learning phase. So let's be honest. By the way, can we just conclude the recording and still be, Tala?
Okay.
Can we still?
Yeah.
Okay. So everyone, Allah
Just a
Hafiz.
second.